Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. Today I want to talk about SGC turnaround time. Things have gotten a little wild with SGC recently. About 10 days or so ago, they announced that they were eliminating some of their faster tiers for turnaround time, the ones that were more expensive, but much faster because their normal tier is getting a lot faster, and they felt like they were watering down those high-level tiers. But I'm starting to see in Facebook groups I'm in, people are getting their orders turned around same business day as when SGC receives it, which is bonkers. I've actually seen a couple of mentions of this, some of one business day turnaround. So SGC receives it one day and then has it done grading the next day. So here's one screenshot that I took of somebody who submitted theirs. And the submission date is the date that it was submitted via the form online, and then the person has to mail it in, and SGC received it 5 days later on the 12th, and then they were done grading it on the 12th. That's crazy. And this was confirmed a $30 per card order. It was not one of the faster tier. They also have that faster tier that's like, I don't know, $120 or $85 per card for 1 to 2 day turnaround. So I'm seeing quite a lot of this. They are turning things around very quickly. 10 years ago, I worked in contact center analytics. And when you call up a call center for customer service, they have a metric that's called average speed of answer, ASA. And they know what that ASA needs to be under. So there's like a breaking point where average speed of answer becomes too high and customer satisfaction drops significantly. And then customers start leaving that company, and the company loses money. And so they want to have a sweet spot there. So I'm thinking about this in SGC turnaround time. You don't want to have your turnaround time be too low because you're wasting capacity. You're wasting money, just like in a contact center. If you're answering your phones immediately, it's too fast. At least this was the way it was a decade ago. I'm guessing it's even worse now, knowing the way contact centers have gone. So there was that sweet spot. So depending on the industry, the company I worked for, we wanted to be under 40 seconds average speed of answer. And so if our average speed of answer was getting too fast, we would take people off the phones and train them and have them doing special projects and things like that. If it got more than 40 seconds, customers were abandoning their call and then not getting the service that they needed, typically like over a minute when it got to be above a minute average speed of answer. So we wanted to be under 40 seconds. SGC seems like they should be looking at something very similar, where you are turning orders around same day as when you receive them. You've got excess capacity, and those people either need to be trained, or more appropriately, SGC needs to reduce their prices. And this is the big thing, in my opinion. Reduce your prices, get more orders in. Right now, they're getting a higher dollar per order, but they're probably not receiving as many cards. And I know that they're still like one of the top 3 or 4, maybe even number 2 in number of cards graded last month in June, but that's steadily decreasing. I saw somebody put in there that it's decreasing by about 10,000 cards per week since towards the end of June. So SGC, if they reduce their prices, they increase demand for their services, and then people start seeing normal turnaround times, accepted turnaround times. If their tier for $30, which would be $20 or $25, okay, maybe, is at 20 to 25 business day turnaround. People expect 20 to 25. That's perfectly reasonable turnaround time, but they're getting it in 1 day, which is insane. They're getting a nice PR bump from this, but PSA is also at $30. So a lot of people who were going to SGC because of that price disparity for almost 2 years are now going back to PSA because that's that $30 thing. Now, there are some differences between the two $30 tiers. SGC at $30 has a max value of $1,500, PSA $500. SGC's turnaround time, as I mentioned, is 20 to 25 business days, so about a month. PSA is 3 to 4 months. So there is some pretty big differences there. And to get the same service at PSA, you'd need to spend at least $300 per card to get it turned around quickly. But it's the public relations aspect of it. When you talk about PSA or SGC grading, you're probably talking about that $30 tier. Most of us are. Most of us are not pulling cards that are worthy of thousands of dollars worth of grading fees, or hundreds of dollars worth of grading fees with thousands of dollars in card value. And so the public relations aspect of it is just what everybody's talking about. And everybody's saying, well, PSA and SGC are equal. And SGC really needs to consider, do they want to keep competitive with PSA? And maybe they do. But I think that SGC has seen a big uptick in modern cards come into them, and that modern card uptick is probably going to slow down. I would suspect that people will start going back to PSA for modern, especially. SGC is still the go-to for vintage. I think that the value is just about the same for vintage, especially the deeper vintage, maybe even a little bit more for SGC because the slabs look so nice, the tucks on vintage. PSA now is going to an $18 per card order for the National, and that's got to just be a test, right? So can we handle this influx of orders at $18 per card? Now, the $18 per card has a max value of $199, and SGC likes to be simple, and so maybe they don't shift to like a $20 max value of $250 or something like that. I don't know, but there's got to be something that addresses SGC's incredibly low turnaround time. And for me, it's low prices. In fact, I am not going to order anything through SGC. I say this now, but maybe I'll pick something up at the National next week that I have to have graded by SGC. I am looking for some amazing vintage at the National, but I don't see myself grading through SGC anytime soon until those prices come down. I want to become an SGC group submitter. I submitted a request through them, and they said they have too many group submitters already, but I'm also seeing some new group submitters popping up saying that they're now approved to be group submitters. So maybe they were on the waiting list for a long time. I don't know. They didn't even give me an application. Of course, who am I? I'm a nobody. Oh, another thing too is that PSA's got a 20 card minimum on that $18 per card order. SGC doesn't have a minimum. So there's a lot going on and positive for SGC that I prefer, but everybody talks about the prices, and that's all that matters. So I think what we're going to see in the coming weeks is SGC dropping their prices, even a couple month bump, and just to say we've dropped our prices to $25 per card, same tier, same value of per card. That would give them a PR bump, and that would get them a lot more submissions, I suspect, because at $25, their group submitters are probably going to drop down to 20-ish, because right now at 30, I think group submitters are charging 25-ish. So I think, I've got to think that price decrease is coming. Let me know in comments. Are you submitting to SGC right now? What are you submitting? Or are you, like me, waiting for those prices to come down? I'm going to submit to PSA, the $18 per card. I've got a bunch of, here's one that I think I'm going to submit, this Sandy Alcantara autograph. Things like this that probably don't have huge value right now, but could. Actually, I think they've split it out. PSA has split it out pre-1995, and that's what we're going to do, because my buddy Oliver and I are going to do an order together. So probably just going to do vintage. A lot of PC stuff for me. Some Michael Jordan stuff that's not highly valuable, but I'd love to see slabbed up. So yeah, let me know in comments. And if you're new here, please click that subscribe button, press the bell icon, get the notifications from my upcoming videos. I do this 2 to 3 times per week. Next week I'm going to the National. I am hoping to get some amazing cards. I'm also hoping to meet you. So if you see me at the National, come up to me, say hey, introduce yourself. I will be getting pictures of myself with anybody who introduces themselves to me, so be prepared for that, unless you specify that you don't want to. So, all right, that's it. Thanks very much for watching.